Hola estudiantes, este video es sobre el pretérito y el imperfecto. These are two past tenses in Spanish, and for today's video, I'm going to use red when I'm talking about preterite and green when I'm talking about imperfect. So these are both past tenses in Spanish. Generally, when we see the preterite tense, if you think of a timeline, I like to think of the preterite tense as ticks on a timeline, because we use the preterite to describe an action or a series of actions that were completed in the past. So I might say something like, Pedro went to the beach, he played volleyball, etc. Pedro fue a la playa, Pedro jugó voleibol. But the imperfect tense, if I were to graph it on a timeline, I would probably have to use more of like this type of shape, because imperfect tense is for ongoing actions, states of being in the past. They don't really focus on a specific beginning or an end. So I might say what time it was or what the weather was like in the past using the imperfect. Like I might say that while Pedro was at the beach, it was nice weather out. Hacía buen tiempo. Or I might say that Pedro used to always go to the beach. Pedro siempre iba a la playa in the past. And then sometimes we have sentences that use both the preterite and the imperfect in the same sentence. And in those cases, we use the imperfect to tell what was happening when something in the preterite interrupted it. For example, I could say something like Pedro nadaba. Pedro was swimming cuando un tiburón llegó, when a shark arrived. So I can use the imperfect to say what was happening, and then the preterite to say what interrupted it or what happened. So the imperfect is what was going on in the background, and the preterite is the interrupting action or the main event that happened. We're going to practice this more in class, but that's just a quick review of when to use preterito imperfecto.